Hello my bunnies, welcome back. I have missed you. So today I'm going to show you how to make hot chocolate bombs. So they are very popular lately. In this video I'm going to show you how to make the basic classic hot chocolate bomb, and then we're going to go into different ways how to personalize it, add different flavors and different shapes and different kinds of chocolate. So let's get started. So first, for chocolate, basically you want to use whatever chocolate you would like to eat straight, because that is what flavor your hot chocolate is going to be. Candy melts are arguably easier because they set at room temperature, they set a lot firmer, so they're easier to handle, but they don't taste as good as real genuine chocolate. So the chocolate I'm using, the chocolate I've used for my entire career here on YouTube is Lindt, just because I love the flavor. These are the chocolate bars I use because I know different chocolate bars taste different and just like set differently. Some set softer than others. So these are the bars that I've had success with. The Lindt Excellence is usually my go-to. It can be a little expensive, but you will get a better tasting hot chocolate. As well as this version for white. They used to have white Lindt Excellence, but like at least where I am, it's been harder to find. Paddington is as outraged as I am. So this is the white chocolate that I use from Lindt. It tastes just as good. Some recipes that I've seen encourage you to temper your chocolate. If you haven't tried tempering chocolate before, I never want to do it again. It's awful. I hate it. And what it does is arrange the molecules in the chocolate in a certain way so that it sets at room temperature versus having to be put in the fridge to set. It won't bloom, which is where the fats of the chocolate raise to the top. Taste and quality of the chocolate remains the same. It just doesn't look as nice. It's where you see those little white patches on chocolate. That's what bloom is. And it's also easier to handle because the melting point is, I believe, higher, so it won't melt as much when you're touching it with your fingers. If you know how to temper your chocolate, definitely do it. If you don't though, the technique I'm going to show you is going to be much easier because, you know, it's the holidays. This year has been so stressful. You don't need to try to figure out how to temper chocolate when all you want is hot chocolate. Like, no, I'm not going to make you do that. So. Okay, so first we're going to break the chocolate bars into small pieces and place them in a microwave-safe bowl. Microwave the chocolate for 20 to 30-second intervals, stirring at each interval. And the chocolate can also be melted using a double boiler, whichever method you prefer. Now, in regards to the mold you'd like to use, there are two different kinds of molds that you can use. One is the clear, firm mold. It's polycarbonate, generally speaking, and these are usually what chocolatiers use. They're harder. You don't have to coat them in any kind of non-stick spray, and then to pop them out, you just tap it on the counter and then the chocolate comes out and it's nice and shiny. Another mold that you can use are silicone molds. They're bendier. They're also way easier to get a hold of, and when I Google like hot chocolate bomb molds on Amazon, only silicone molds come up. I prefer the harder polycarbonate ones just because when you're unmolding them, you don't run the risk of like pushing the mold too much and then cracking it, because you can like easily kind of like scrunch the silicone. But whichever mold you have, you don't have to like go run out and buy a new one. The technique that I'm going to show you works with both molds. I also had these little DIY ornament containers, which I'm using as a mold because it's the same material and the chocolate doesn't stick, just like with the polycarbonate. So if you have these, make sure they're clean, obviously. But that's what I'm using today, and it's actually super useful. Then fill your mold 3/4 of the way full with the chocolate and gently rotate it so that the chocolate coats all sides. Place a sheet of parchment paper onto your work surface and turn the mold upside down and allow the excess chocolate to drip onto the parchment paper. Or if you're only using little singular molds like me, you can just pour it back into your bowl. But it's a little tricky if you're using a mold with multiple little spots. Then just scrape the chocolate off the parchment paper and return it to your bowl. And so using this method instead of brushing it on with like a spoon or a little brush is going to give you a very even coating so that you don't have any areas of the chocolate shell that are thinner than others, meaning that they're also weaker than others. Everything is equally strong and smooth and nice. Then use the back of a butter knife to smooth the edges of the chocolate mold. Place the mold into the fridge for 20 to 30 minutes or until the chocolate has fully set. Then we're gonna repeat that process one more time, creating a second coating of chocolate. You don't have to do this, but I would recommend it because it will create a stronger chocolate shell and they're not gonna crack on you, or there is like a lower chance of them cracking during handling than if you just did one layer. and it will also allow you to create a much thicker ridge at like the edge of the mold. And again, this will make it so much easier to glue the two sides together later on. Also, you don't have to make a spherical shape. That's what everyone's doing, but I mean, like, there are so many different mold shapes out there. If you want a different shape, go for it. I'm using a pig shaped mold because I bought this months ago and I haven't been able to use it yet, and I'm so excited. So this is a pig and I think it's so cute. I'll link it down below. I got it from Amazon. You want to make sure that if you're using a shaped mold that they are like mirrored shapes to each other, so that imagine when you put them together, they will fit perfectly. So as you can see for the pig mold, the little faces are on different sides so that when you put together, the face ends up being on the same side. Then you want to gently unmold the chocolate shells, and as you can see with the polycarbonate, you just like scoop it with your finger and it comes out. How beautiful is that? So easy, my goodness. You can also tap it upside down and it will come out too. Okay, and I'm gonna throw an extra little tutorial in here. So if you would like to add some extra color to your chocolate shells, if you don't want it to just be plain old chocolate, here is a very, very cool technique. So you wanna get some candy melts, any color that you like, and pop them into a microwave safe bowl and microwave for 20 to 30-second intervals, stirring at each interval until fully melted. Then you want to add some shortening and stir until melted. You just only need a tiny bit, and this is going to thin out the consistency of the candy melt and make it much easier to work with. And then use a clean, like a food safe paintbrush to brush it onto the insides of your molds before you pour the chocolate shell inside. And that is going to give you a beautiful color on the outside of your chocolate shell that will still be attached to the shell, if you get what I mean. And you can do like swirls, you can do brushes, you can do a little heart like I did on the side of the pig because the pig is so cute. Oh my goodness. Then we're gonna make the hot chocolate mix. This is so simple. Literally all you wanna do is mix together 1 part cocoa powder to 2 parts sugar. So I just did 1 tablespoon cocoa powder and 2 tablespoons sugar. You can use any sugar that you like. You can always use confectioner's sugar instead of regular granulated sugar. Alternatively, you could also use brown sugar for a different flavor. Then spoon some of the mix into one side of the chocolate shell. You don't have to use all the mix. Also, because the shell is made of chocolate, these hot chocolates are quite chocolatey, so don't worry if you can't fit a lot of hot chocolate mix in, your hot chocolate will still taste like hot chocolate. Then you can add some marshmallows or some sprinkles if you like. So I have a mix of these small little marshmallow bits, basically like the marshmallows that you find in cereal. And then I also put some mini marshmallows, like the regular ones, on top. You can use whatever you like. I just wanted to show you guys both options. I also discovered that they sell Lucky Charm marshmallows, just marshmallows and without the cereal. My goodness, I highly recommend it. I believe they are sold on Amazon, so I'll link it down below if you want to pick some up, even like just for eating. And I am not judging here. So now is the fun part where I'm going to show you how to make different flavors of hot chocolate. Yes, classic hot chocolate is delicious, but say you want peanut butter hot chocolate or Nutella hot chocolate or like marshmallow fluff hot chocolate, or you want to add some jam to add like a fruity flavor. You can do that, but there is a specific technique that you want to use. So we are going to make a little chocolate compartment within the chocolate bomb. So you want to dollop whatever kind of paste or cream or whatever you're using into 1/2 of the chocolate bomb sides, and then pour some more of the same melted chocolate on top and pop it in the fridge to chill. So the reason that we're doing this instead of just adding, say, the peanut butter with the hot chocolate mix and everything is because if the peanut butter or like the liquid cream flavoring that you're using is next to the hot chocolate powder, the moisture will kind of absorb the hot chocolate powder and kind of create like a solid mass that might not melt as nicely in your hot chocolate. So I don't want you guys to make it and be all excited, and then when you're stirring it up, you get like this like solid mass that's not disintegrating. So this way keeps the cream flavoring separate from the hot chocolate powder, so that when you put it into your cup of hot milk, everything melts together nicely and it will end up being a very like successful and delicious hot chocolate. So some other flavor ideas that I had that I didn't show you are obviously like Nutella. You could use some like caramel, like dulce de leche. I'm not sure. Marco says yes, the second one. Okay, there we go. I actually have a recipe for homemade dulce de leche. I'm still unsure about that. Coming next week, so keep an eye out because it's delicious and so easy. You could also use jam. You could also do like a peanut butter and jam flavored hot chocolate. So if you use the strawberry flavored Lindt chocolate that I showed at the beginning, and then put a little peanut butter pocket in, you'd have like a PB&J hot chocolate, which would be really cool. You could use honey, you could use like pistachio paste, cookie butter, anything. Tell me what your ideas are down below because possibilities are endless and I would love to hear what you guys think. Then you want to remelt some of the remaining melted chocolate and spread it onto the ridges of the filled shell and place the other shell on top. Gently press it to seal and then place the hot chocolate bomb back into the fridge for about 10 minutes until the chocolate seal has set. Then to decorate, you can drizzle or spread some more chocolate on top, and if you would like to get that drizzle kind of shape, just pop the chocolate into a piping bag or a Ziploc bag and poke a little or cut a little hole at the tip and drizzle it on. It'll look like it was just casually drizzled on, but you do need the piping bag to get that beautiful clean drizzle. If you try it with a knife, it'll look more of like a splatter effect, so it depends on what look you're going for. You do want to make sure that the chocolate you're drizzling is obviously melted, but has been cooled to room temperature, because if it's too warm, there's this chance of it melting the chocolate shell, and you don't want to do that just yet. And you can sprinkle some more sprinkles on top, and then pop the hot chocolate bomb back into the fridge for another 10 minutes for the drizzle to set. Then to serve, just drop the hot chocolate bomb into a mug of hot milk, or alternatively pour the hot milk on top when you realize that you can't drop a hot chocolate bomb into a cup already full of milk because it almost spills over, as you can see right here. But either way, the end result is the same, which is a delicious cup of hot chocolate. And you are done! So thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you like this recipe. If you're ever request for any other trendy recipes, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I am finally back from my cookbook expedition of 2020. So all 3 cookbooks are finally shot and done. I am so relieved. It was exhausting, but very exciting as well. So I am back to regularly posting on YouTube, which I'm really, really excited about. So I am posting twice a week. Again, I missed it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So make sure to stay tuned because I have a bunch of holiday themed recipes coming for you. And I would love for you guys to see it. And if you would like to see some other holiday themed recipes, I have probably hundreds at this point. So I'll link my playlist here in the cards for you guys to check it out. But yeah, anyways, I love you guys so much. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button because there are so many holiday recipes coming for you. I can't wait. And I will see you guys on, what day is this? Thursday. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday for a new recipe. And it's a Hanukkah recipe. So if any of you guys celebrate Hanukkah, this is for you. Bye.